So is
We're
everybody there? All the
no,
band?
it's just two of us. It's just Graham and Steve.
Okay.
The other guys had to work, so.
So Great White Buffalo, what's your story? How long have you guys been together?
Well, actually, me and Steve have been together longer than the band as a whole. We kind of started the band, and then that was maybe 3.5 years ago, and then we moved to LA. We were down in San Diego, and then we moved to LA, and then we joined up with Rich, and then with Paul, our bass player, and since us four have been together for about 2 years, so then that's kind of been like the Great White Buffalo, the like solid. Before that, it was kind of a little different. We were just kind of figuring out same name, but basically a different band. So basically, we've all been four together for about 2 years.
Okay. What made you leave San Diego for LA?
We knew at some point, like Steve lived down there. I'd moved down there to kind of help start the band, and then we were down there for a little while, and our drummer actually had to move up to LA, and we knew that we were going to probably have to move there at some point anyways. So we decided to move up to keep the band going, and then he ended up leaving the band, so it didn't really matter. But it was kind of a better place for us anyway. San Diego's pretty small for, as a music scene, but especially for like an indie kind of rock scene. So
Okay.
Greener pastures in LA.
yeah, more opportunities.
Okay, well that's really cool to hear because sometimes bands from Southern California complain that the market is so saturated that it's hard.
Oh, don't get us wrong, LA sucks. I mean, there's a ton of shit bands, but I mean, it's been the right call for us. I mean, I guess every band has a kind of different path, but
Right.
so far we're happy, and we've made some cool connections and had a lot of cool opportunities here to make music that we want. So it's going about as well as it could right now.
Yeah.
Where does the inspiration for the music come from? I mean, I know obviously there's four of you in the band and you each have your own path, your history with music, but together as a group, where does the inspiration come from?
I would say it kind of just comes from all of our personalities. We all have like kind of personality quirks and where we come from, and kind of when we get in a room to jam and write music, it just kind of comes out. So it kind of turns into it's kind of cliche, but like a melting pot of kind of all of us and kind of all of our influences and moods and personalities and all that kind of stuff. So
Tell me the bands that you grew up with that inspired you the most.
well, this is Graham talking, so if that helps. I grew up with like a lot of classic rock. My favorite classic rock band was The Who, and I was into like Beatles and all that kind of stuff. And then I was really into like 90s rock, like Stone Temple Pilots and all those kind of 90s bands that really influenced me when I was 8, 9, 10, 11, those years kind of. And then after that, kind of recent in high school, I started getting into more like indie music, like the Strokes and Modest Mouse and that kind of stuff. So those are kind of where I'm from. And Steve has his different influences, but mostly the same. A lot of the same.
Yeah, it's all. I mean, like you said, we went to high school together, so we kind of had the same little, micro cultural bubble, and we get the same kind of influences. But yeah, I started the same way. Classic rock with like Led Zeppelin and Beatles, steady diet of that, and then kind of early 2000s, there was that whole post-punk scene with Strokes and Interpol and all that kind of stuff. And I wasn't actually even like doing music in high school. I didn't start playing guitar till after high school. And when I finally picked up a guitar and started writing songs or whatever, I was really into like Elliott Smith and that kind of songwriter stuff, which I'm still into.
Who writes the music in the band?
Simple answer is we all do. Me and Steve have traditionally been bigger songwriters because we're the guitar. We both play guitar and sing, so we write a lot of the melodies. And in the past EPs, it was a lot of me and Steve doing most of it, and then we'd bring the ideas to the guys and kind of hash them out, and they'd come up with ideas or drum parts or bass parts, and then we kind of work on it. And our new songs have actually been a lot more collaborative with all four of us really working on it. So that's been different, and it's been cool. And so there's in the new stuff we're recording right now, I think there's going to be kind of a lot more of everyone's kind of feel and input in it. So That's kind of exciting.
Yeah, I mean, we still kind of kept the same exact roles. Like Graham and I are still doing the singing and melody making and word stuff, and coming up with the musical parts. But the other guys have had a lot more say in like what they like or don't like, and we've come up with it kind of in the jam room, like in the live room, and done it on the spot. And depending on what someone's feeling, like what Graham was saying, like our kind of influences come from our personalities and what's going on sort of in the moment. And if someone's like vibing on something or they're not vibing on something, we'll either go that direction or go away from that direction. And then it kind of forces you, or I don't know, for me, it forces me to be a lot more creative, because then I have to come up with like alternate things for the thing that I had just come up with. Like we have to come up with a lot more just to kind of get it through the process now, which, like Graham was saying, on this new EP that we're in the middle of recording, will hopefully shine through. It'll make it stronger.
When is the new EP set to release?
It's a great question.
We don't have a release date. We're still
it'll probably be what's today? Yeah, like mid to late summer. We're shooting for, hopefully. I would say like late July would be reasonable. Okay. But we kind of gotta wait. We're still like kind of getting studio time here and there, and we got quite a bit to go. But we're getting past the harder parts, and it should start to go pretty fast now. So
I wanted to ask you. You two grew up together, at least came of age together. Does that make it easier or harder to be in the band together? Like, do you at this point know each other so well that you irritate each other, or is it a better collaboration because you can anticipate one another?
Well, I mean, we grew up and we're in the same town, but Graham was a year above me, and like in high school, that's like eons, like you have totally different friend groups. And like I said, I didn't play music, but now, I mean, like we lived together for all the years we were starting the band. Like now it's like beyond closeness. It doesn't really matter. You could say anything and we're still going to be there. But, I don't know if it necessarily was because we were from the same place, because we weren't doing music stuff. That's a whole different relationship that gets forged that way, I guess.
So now it's more like brothers.
Yeah, well, it's been like that for a while. Yeah. I mean, we kind of, for the most part, know, what typically what one person will like and what one person might not like, and so it makes it easier. But I mean, for the most part, we have a lot of the same vision, and it makes it pretty easy because we know when we both hear something we like, we both go, okay, that's it, and that makes it easy to move. So there's not a lot of disagreement about like when we come up with something great. I think we both know when we come up with something like, okay, that's great, like that's and then other stuff, it's like we'll kind of challenge each other and say okay, well that could be better, maybe this could be better, let's try something else, and and then we'll pretty much arrive usually. We'll always arrive at something where we're like, okay, like this is it, we got it, like okay, that was good. But there's always a process involved of trying different avenues and kind of getting through that process.
Error and trial.
Yeah.
Thanks for Nothing. Where did that come from? What's it about?
I mean, yeah, they all kind of start the same way musically, like kind of come in with a riff or a progression or something and flesh it out that way. But in terms of what it's about, like lyrically or conceptually, that's a different thing. I know when either one of us is making up like vocal parts, it just kind of comes from the music and you start blabbering out whatever gibberish comes into mind, and then that helps you get like the phrasing down and the delivery. So then when you actually go down and start writing the lyrics, then you already have a set phrasing and delivery that works, so you have to kind of shape the lyrics to fit that.
Yeah, I mean, like the way we write is we very rarely have like a topic about we write music first and then lyrics usually come second. I mean, a lot of times when we're in the room jamming, like we be playing and just the feel of the song or the feel of something will just like inspire something to just kind of come out.
Yeah, dictate the.
Yeah, and then stuff will just come like bits and pieces, just kind of like stream of consciousness kind of come out, and then we'll kind of go off of that and work the lyrics that way. So in terms of what it's about, it's kind of about it could be about anything. It was about a moment that we were in the room and we were playing and something just happened to come out and we kind of went that direction and kind of built the song around it. So
plus, I know we both have like a bunch of lyrics just like written down that are kind of orphan lyrics. You know, you just have or like little turns of phrase that kind of like you want to hold on to. Not that it's going to be like a song seedling or something like that, but once we have a song, maybe try to go back and look over like lyric stuff and see if any of those things fit in there, you know, so it's comes from a moment, but then you can also go dig deep into other lyrical, I don't know, magic hats, magic beans, what is that?
Do you find that you can be out like anywhere doing any random thing and all of a sudden inspiration or an idea for a song comes to you? Or is it more something that you sit down and you actually, now we're going to have a writing session?
Well, it kind of depends. Like, well, you know, I know Steve does the same thing. You know, like lyrics-wise, sometimes I'll just be wandering around. I'll come up with a line or like an idea, and I'll write it down. And you know, with really no music, just kind of a thought or an idea, and then we'll try to later on. You know, we'll end up working it into a song, kind of building a song off of that. And music-wise, you know, we're constantly coming up with
just little musical ideas, and I mean, it's probably more, you know, the former of what you were just describing. Like I know a lot of times I'll sit down and just pick up a guitar with nothing in mind. Like I'm not trying to write songs. I'm not there for a writing session. There's nothing going through my mind, and that's like the best time when something will come out, and I'll be like, oh, I kind of like that little change or that progression or that, you know, little hooky thing, and then try to build around that, and then maybe bring it into, you know, the room and see if it goes through the process, that sort of stuff.